In today's e-commerce growth minutes, I want to talk about how to communicate A/B test results to your teams. So let's say you've been, getting involved a little deeper with A/B testing and conversion optimization, and you've had some highly successful tests. Congrats. Some tests that may not have been so successful, but at least you learned from. And you think that it's a shame that only you should know the results, right? At the end of the day, conversion optimization should be something that the whole organization knows about and participates, right? Sometimes the best A/B test ideas come from customer support reps who talk with customers every day. So, what's the best way to really get everyone excited about the A/B test you're doing and involved into your optimization program? Well, it's by communicating the test results of your A/B test. How did that impact the business? So I'm realizing this is a question I've been getting a lot from clients, and it's how do we best communicate this? So I'll keep this video super short, but just wanted to give you a few ideas. So the first idea is probably the easiest of them all, and it's a company newsletter. So let's say you have a marketing newsletter being sent to your team or teams, depending on how big your company is. Um, have a little column about the A/B test. And when I say a column, don't just share like, hey, this test increased conversions by 12% or anything like that. Make sure that it explains how you came up with the test idea. What was that hypothesis? What the test looked like? And finally, what was the result and what you learned from it? This is super, super, super important. If you just share numbers, increases or decreases, or just say a test won or lost, you're missing the point. It's really about educating people on how to come up with A/B test ideas, and how those ideas can help the business move forward. And I say this all the time, but even losing tests can create a lot of value for a company because you learn more about your users and what works and what doesn't work. So make sure you really clearly define that and explain it when you communicate test results to your team or teams. So newsletters is one of the easiest and best ways of doing it. Of course, if you have weekly team meetings, that's another great time to just, maybe you want to have a few slides up and show your hypothesis, the results, how you came up with the test, and mock-ups of or screenshots of what the test looked like. Just meetings are always a great time to just take 5 minutes and walk through some of the results. And finally, if you have a company intranet or an internal company blog, that's another great way to kind of have everything there and accessible for anyone to consult at any time, right? So if you're onboarding new marketing people or anyone that may have an interest in what you're doing in conversion optimization internally, well, it's great to have all those test results available publicly within your company, right? Have those test results live somewhere where anyone inside the company, if they're wondering whether, I don't know, layout 1 or layout 2 work best for your product pages, don't make it hard for them to see the results. Make sure it's widely available. I think the last piece of advice I have for you guys is really to keep everything simple. I think a lot of people overcomplicate. There's a lot of information that can be gotten from analyzing A/B test. But if it's too complex, if there are too many metrics involved, and if the impact on the company is not clear, it's completely pointless and everyone will forget what the actual impact was. So keep it super simple. So here we go. 3 ways to communicate A/B test results to your teams. Well, company newsletter, meetings, and company intranet or internal blog or knowledge base or anything like that. Make sure to keep everything super simple, easy to understand, and outline the impact that every test has on the company and what you've learned from it. Super, super important. If you have any other questions or comments, make sure to comment in the comments below. If you've liked what you've heard, make sure to like the video. And if you want to hear more about e-commerce growth strategies, make sure to listen to my podcast called Minds of E-commerce, where I interview highly successful e-commerce entrepreneurs on their top growth strategies. It's available on iTunes and all your other podcasting platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you in the next video.